What is up, my kings and queens and all in between? Welcome back, my beautiful crowned community. Thank you so much for returning. Make sure that you go to that thumbnail, share this with somebody that you love, give us those thumbs ups, those reviews. That song you just heard, it is called Mi Corazón, written by myself, produced by Aaron McLendon. You can download that wherever you listen to your favorite music. And for today, your one-stop shop place for creativity, balancing mindfulness, spirituality. While being an entrepreneur, I have an amazing, beautiful special guest. You can, and if you're watching, you can see her beautiful face now. But if you're listening, give me a minute because I'm going to give her a proper introduction. We have Sherry Younge, everybody. Sherry Younge of Artform Studio. Sherry Younge has owned and operated the Artform Studio, a hair salon and record studio for the past 18 years, almost 2 decades, babe. That's incredible. She has been working to perfect her craft of hair and makeup artistry for over 25 years now. Sherry learned her art form of haircuts and color through courses at Vidal Sassoon in Los Angeles, Redken in New York City, Carlton Hair International, and then furthered her training in wavy, curly, and tighter curly hair textures as an educator for DevaCurl. She is also RezoCut and RezoLite Level 1 certified. Sherry's favorite brands to use are Scwarzkopf, Evo, Kevin Murphy, K18, Cricut Tools, Kasho, Shears, DevaCurl, Ref, and Rezo. During the pandemic, she had started her journey into music by being a part of her team's radio show called Artform Radio. That's so rad. I did not know that. The Artforms of Yesterday is her segment about LP cover art and the past in relation to current beauty standards of today. 2 years ago, she completed an intro to DJing course at the Beat Junkies Institute of Sound. Currently, she is playing jazz, soul, and world music records as a DJ at the Artform Studio and local restaurant bars. After a day of working as a hairstylist by day, she goes out at night as a DJ with her Artform team of hairstylists and colleagues in Highland Park for Checker Hall, in Hollywood for Tabula Rasa Bar, and in Los Feliz for Nosa Caprini Bar. Follow Sherry Younge on Instagram for haircuts and hair color, makeup, and final DJ sessions. Welcome, welcome, Sherry Younge. How are you, babe?
Good, good. Andrew, I love you. You're doing
I
so
love you.
proud of you. Thank you
Oh,
for having me
I'm
on.
proud of you. This is why I wanted to create this space of uplifting others in hopes of inspiring other artists to pursue and follow their passions and dreams, right? And I'm so grateful that I've crossed paths with you in your environment and your beautiful studio. It's the same location or different location that I'm looking at right now?
We're here at in Highland Park.
Oh, so
We've
it's a
been
different
here for
location.
like
Yeah.
years. Yeah, it's a better,
Congratulations.
way better.
Yeah, congratulations because we met at your Little Tokyo location prior in downtown, which was so fun. We got to do some really cool Halloween makeups on your clientele, and I think we did like a makeup class. I don't know, it was just like a party. It was
Yeah.
always a good time. Yeah.
Anyways,
Thank
and
you
I
for
love
that.
working with people in the community that are a part of like our artistry,
Yeah.
hair, makeup. I mean, I love that you came in and introduced yourself when I first met you, and I was like, oh man, I wish we could work together some more.
Yeah.
So I tried to find anything
Any
that helped.
capacity. Yeah.
Yes.
I love
And
that about you too. You're always so inclusive with community, with artistry, with families. Everybody's just welcome and it's so cool to see all the mediums of artistry within one studio that you are able to share and express and make everybody feel inclusive. Like that's pretty dope. Congratulations. I'm proud of you. How does it feel to hear someone reading about your accomplishments in your bio?
it's a journey. I feel like I've had multiple lives going through all of the things that you had listed. And because I'm in the beauty industry, it's evolved over 2 decades of work. I'm sure you've been in it for so long as well, and you've seen the beauty standards of the past and how it relates to us now. And that's why I thought it was more compelling for me to talk about through my I'm trying to create this whole radio show, my podcast segment about beauty standards of that era within like the 60s, 70s, and how it relates to us now. And it
Heck
has
yeah.
evolved, but sometimes it seems very relatable through
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
the rights era of
Mm-hmm.
how relaxers were so in, and then all of a sudden with the civil rights era of trying to be more free, we wanted to wear their hair more natural. So that was like in the 70s, and then you kind of see that. I felt that maybe about 15 years ago when a lot of my clients are like, I want to go back to natural.
Yes. Yeah.
I want to be curly. And then it just kind of followed through everybody's like hair journey, especially
Yeah.
during the pandemic where they grew their hair out and they didn't realize, oh, my hair is actually wavy or,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to see if I can make that work for me.
Yeah, that's so cool, and bringing it back to the roots of, history repeating itself, and we're all inspired. I mean, everything's kind of been done already because we've been here for so long, right? But I love that you're kind of going back into time and researching the history, getting the facts, paving the, for people that have paved the way. And yeah, it's a little bit of, I call it this like artist renaissance that is reclaiming its, self-expression and bringing it back to streamline just natural beauty which we love. Like that's incredible. I love that. But like, can we rewind and go back? Let's talk about baby young Sherry Young. Tell us a little bit about your origins. Were you always this creative? Was your baby self spiritual in any way too?
You know what? I think the spirituality part of it was more of a journey throughout my life. I just turned 47 last week.
Still
So,
looking like a baby.
you know, I hope
Yes.
so. I hope so. So I'm from LA, born and raised here in LA. My parents met here in historic Filipino town and they just hit it off. A year being together, they had me, and then they had my two sisters. We lived all over LA. I went to school all over LA. Because we lived in overcrowded, parts of places in LA, we had to take the school bus to the west side of town to go to school there, which was very challenging. So with inner city kids, if it's overcrowded in that school, you got to go. And I think when I went to the west side of town to go to school, I felt different. I think that's why I created Artform, because in parts of LA, you don't always feel included, right? So when I went to the west side of town to go to school, there would be, the Black kids that were on one side of the school, the white kids in the other part of the school, and then somewhere in the middle, you see like Filipinos, kids who are like biracial, Black and Filipino, Filipino and white, and they would always congregate somewhere in the middle. The Mexicans, the Indians, everyone in between were in the middle of the school, which I thought was fascinating to me. And then growing up, I was like, I need to create a space where everyone feels included. So I feel like
Yeah,
Artform is that space.
it really is. Oh my God, that's beautiful. Congratulations. And let's talk about creativity. How did that come about? Did you go to like art school? Did you go to, and obviously we listed all of your amazing criteria in hair and makeup education, but prior to that, I don't know, were you musically inclined in any way?
No, my mom always listened to records, and that was like every weekend, mom wasn't at
My mom
work,
too. Yeah.
right? Every
Yeah, I loved
weekend,
it.
we listened to records while we do the laundry, and I knew
Hmm.
that she had a great record collection. She had like a lot of Tagalog music.
Yeah.
She had a lot of Mexican music too. And it's just like being a part of like this part in LA, downtown LA. She went to work at Good Samaritan Hospital. So
Okay.
we lived in that area where, you know, very rare that we saw a lot of Filipinos growing up, but I
Yeah.
learned how to speak Spanish a lot, growing
Oh,
up
I
in
didn't know that. Okay, trilingual.
because Tagalog is so infused with,
Yeah.
you know,
Hmm.
um, sorry,
You're good.
that.
You got so
And
excited.
I did.
You're like, I'm trying legal.
I did. So it's fun to hear a lot of like Spanish in the
Dialect. Hmm.
the Spaniards took over,
Hmm.
so our it's a part of our culture being, where you're from
Hmm.
and where my parents are from. The
Yeah.
language is so ingrained. So even culture, food,
Yeah.
also
We're
extended family.
very similar in households, upbringings, and celebrating each other's accomplishments and all up in each other's business and having
All
the
of
quinceañeras, the big weddings and the dramatics and the yeah, I relate. My goddaughter, my second goddaughter is she's so cute. Her name is Marie, and my brother married a beautiful Filipino woman, and yeah, her name is Roxy, and they have two daughters now. So my mom always wanted a daughter, and she had four boys. So she had to have four boys in order to have a granddaughter. So she finally was able to get one. I think she has four granddaughters. Yeah, there's four and one grandson. So yeah, yeah, I relate. I call them my little lumpias, and
I'm so
yeah, they're so
thankful.
cute. Yeah. It's awesome. It's all the same. We're all the same, really, at the end of it. And that's probably why I got along with you so from the get-go. Like I'm like, hey, we're the same. I love your space. Let's collab. So cool. Okay. So now we're experiencing mom's expression with music and growing up with vinyl records, and you're being influenced by probably Motown and so many different genres of music. And I see all the vinyl in the back. It's like so dope. Yeah, you guys, if you're hearing this, thank you. But if you're not watching it, go to the YouTube and check out this amazing Artform Studio in Highland Park. Wow, just records for days. Yeah, I have definitely a soft spot for that. My mom used to take me, we grew up in Pasadena for like the first 4 years of my life. So I remember walking in the 80s to the record store to buy the latest Donna Summer, the latest, Annie Lennox, Eurythmics, Madonna. Obviously, we already know my obsession with her. And and she would put it on. That was like our Sunday ritual. Prop me on her tocador, her little makeup vanity. Just like watch her do her hair and makeup as all these posters were around her. It was fun. It was the 80s were a glam time, you know? Was your
Yeah.
mom into like hair and makeup and wardrobe too?
No, you know what? My mom, she's very tactile too. She was a pharmacist technician, so she made drugs. She grew up on a farm in the Philippines, so she knew like the natural ingredients
Hmm.
to a lot of drugs. Um,
Habitual.
very, very much so. Her
Love that.
grandfather fought in the war, and so he was like a POW, and he was in the death march of Bataan, and he was like, I don't know how long he had to march while he was captured, but
Yeah.
he understood like the lay of the land and what he needed to survive to eat.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting. So then he got land as a soldier. You could get land after fighting the war. So my mom grew up on a farm, understanding like certain elements to heal. And so this time, every time he's like, you got to eat papaya to make sure it's a huge
Yeah.
antioxidant.
Digestion, anti-inflammatory, all the nourishments. That's amazing. And so you just inherited that.
I think so, like just healing, with
Hmm.
my hands. We're very tactile people.
Yeah. Yeah.
She taught me how to crochet when I was younger. She loves music. She's just such she's a shy person. My dad is the one that's more like fun.
Social.
Yeah, they're so
Uh,
opposite, and
but they
I always
work. It
they do
works. I
they
love
do.
that. Have I met them?
I don't think so. Sometimes they're
Because I feel like I've been to a few functions.
and they're
Obviously,
there.
we share a mutual friend, Laureen,
Yes,
Buenaventura.
yes.
Laureen. How is she? How is Laureen?
Well, she's still
Good.
she's
Mama.
working, I think yeah, she's a mommy.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
now lives in downtown LA right now, and she's been super busy.
Yeah.
Uh, and
Good.
so she's been really figuring it all out too. She's still an artist to me. She loves
Yeah.
makeup.
Cool.
She really helps out in a lot of like ways,
Yeah.
to get that going with her life.
I got to get
She's
you guys my palette. I'll
yeah,
send that out. Yeah.
yeah, she's
Love it.
amazing.
Yeah, grateful that she connected us, that she was the mutual connection from the beginning. All right, so you touched a little bit on healing and taking care of yourself. So I call this section "How You Gonna Love Someone Else If You Can't Love Yourself First?" So
Oh,
Sherry Young, share with us, what's your self-care beauty regimen? Do you take time for yourself selfishly before your service to others? And do you have any beauty tips and tricks that you want to share?
that's something I've been trying to work on. And I
Mm-hmm.
think last year I've been being in the beauty industry. I've kind of felt that, yes, we are a service of others, but as I'm getting older, I have to be a service to myself. So,
Period.
right, during my birthday, I always take care of myself on the day of my
Happy
birthday.
belated birthday too. You're an Aries.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, too much
My
Aries.
husband's an Aries.
Is he? When's his
I'm
birthday?
here for it. He's March 23rd.
Ah, yes,
Like
yes, yes.
right in the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a strong Aries too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is.
And then so my beauty practice that I've tried to involve myself in, because I do it for my clients, I
Hmm.
talk to them about your half birthday. I've heard of this term called half birthday, and I thought, what is that? Why are
Yeah.
people to celebrate their half birthday? But as I got older, I was like, oh, I'll take any celebration. So,
Sure.
so my on I've noticed this trend with my clients is that they will come in on their birthday cuts because as women we don't feel as bad, and then for some subconscious reason a lot of my clients have been coming in on their half birthday not knowing like, oh, it's been 6 months, I need a haircut. So I've been,
After 6 months. Okay,
yes,
cool. I like that.
yeah, your half birthday, so you don't really feel as bad like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I need one. Maybe I'll just wait for my birthday. But it's like you kind of have to go through this hair journey or a beauty journey, a self-care
Mm-hmm.
journey. Haircuts are like a ritual release.
Yeah.
You
It's a
just want to
purge.
let go of energy you don't need
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
anymore. And you
It
just,
checks off so many boxes. And also I think zodiacally, if that's even a word, or astrology wise, if 6 months after your birthday, that is the opposite sign of yours. So there could be something energetically in the universe of releasing and purging and letting go, of the past and opening up spaces for new energy and good things. So I like that. That's really cool.
yeah, I'm learning to be better at that. Like
The half
getting,
birthdays.
yeah, half birthdays just really, I have to figure out if there's another word for it, but it is definitely a good,
We're
like,
creative. We'll come up with one.
I think
We'll
so.
come back to that. Yeah. I love that. Cool. Thank you for sharing that. So this next segment I call Love is Art. Art is love, because with me, they both are the same. So Sherry Young, what practices or routines do you have in place to nurture your creativity and spirituality while also running your business?
I like going to New York twice a year. It's just to see,
Stimulation. Hmm.
yes. I think I definitely ADHD. I can't sit still. I want to absorb energy all the
Creative
time.
people are. Hmm.
Yeah. So I like going to New York in the spring and in the fall, the best
Love it.
times to.
Period. Very cool. All right. And can you share any tips or advice for aspiring entrepreneurs like yourself looking to incorporate more creativity and spirituality into their work?
I would say take the time to be outside of your bubble. Like when people tell me, like, do you always take the same route to work? I switch it up. I go a different
Nice.
work. It's really training your mind to do other things. Like when I started DJing, I thought, wow, this is a fascinating part that opened up my
Yeah. I'm
brain.
so proud of you too. That was just such a cool move, and congratulations.
Thank you.
I
And
love
then
that.
and then all my DJ friends, I'm like, I didn't know this was what was going on when you do this.
Yeah.
It's like tactile. So when you when you practice hair, you're moving, you're blending, you're cutting, you're doing the same thing with sound. And
Muscle
so,
memory.
yes, so I thought that was like beautiful to understand. Like, all I can think about is the next song and how to blend it to the
Hmm.
previous song, just like hair cutting. It's like, okay, well, how do I blend this hair strand to the next hair strand? And it's
Yeah.
just a whole, I just, it's fun. It's been like, it works together within this world that I'm living in here.
So proud of you. Yeah, my husband and I are both fans of DJs and DJing, the process of it. I've always been infatuated with it. Even as a little kid, I had like the three deck, tape cassette thing where you would put in two and then a blank one and then try to mix. I know it was in vinyl, but it was the newer way of DJing at that time in the 80s. And um yeah, and with this experience and my book and my palette, I created a song, and that was my first time publishing an actual song. And then being a part of that process was so dope. And then my husband, as a personal trainer and an indoor cycling instructor and a boot camp trainer for like different gyms like Equinox, Crunch, he, has to compile playlists. And so I call him a DJ as well, and he has to study melodically, cadence, heartbeat, where you're at with breath, with particular song that have like a builds that merge into. So he's like for sure DJ, not only personal trainer, nutritionist, but he is 100% a DJ as well because he knows
Wow.
exactly where your heart rate is with that beat at that particular moment of that song. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I see the art in all that, and we're house heads. Like we love
Oh,
like
I
all
love
the
that.
old school, like Chicago, Frankie Knuckles, like we're those guys. Like we go to all like the festivals and EDC and yeah,
But
we're
those
those
gems,
those
right? Those
guys.
beats per minute, it gives you an
Mm-hmm.
uplifting feeling. I like playing up tempo music.
Mm-hmm.
House is a whole other world for me too. But once I,
Love.
get that motion, like I have a RuPaul like record that I
Yes.
love.
You better get my song up in one of your playlists
Oh,
too.
hey, I need that vinyl.
Yeah. Oh my God, I don't have it in vinyl. That would be
It's all good. I can like find it. I'll
look
find
into
it.
that. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I love that. All right. So you're so accomplished. And again, I keep saying I'm so proud of you, and I truly am because you're just like iconic in your culture, in your within your environments, in your community. You're gonna go down in history, babe, for sure. And you've accomplished so many, parts of artistry and all these mediums that you're using, and it's always your essence and like who you are as a person and your light that's coming through, which is why people connect. But all right, where are you at with that? How do you measure success in both your creative and entrepreneurial pursuits? And do they overlap in any way? What does success mean for you now?
Success for me now, it's the most challenging thing about success is how to maintain it. It's like you feel successful and then you're like, well, what's next? Well, what's next? I know I could do something else. Like,
Yeah,
how can
I
I
relate.
incorporate this into my own business? Because it's not just one thing. Like, yes, we became a hairstylist. And then I was like, oh, makeup is like icing on the cake. And then
Hmm.
music is that other element of sensory that, just nurtures my artistry. So
Yeah.
I feel like everything comes together and there's a limitless amount of the art
Hmm.
that we can create.
Yeah.
My husband is such a creative artist too that he
He
implements
is.
another thing in my brain that says, okay, well, what intentional parts are you trying to create? You're creating just to create, but what's the intention of the creation? So I think that helps keep building the success to maintain that fruitfulness of the education that backs it up, the history that backs it up, and what is going to come in the future. So we're ready for it. Like you said, history repeats itself, but
Hmm.
there's certain things that we have to go through, all these hills and valleys, and how
Hmm.
we maintain that success when we're challenged with like the pandemic,
Yeah.
health issues, um, all of financial issues,
Hmm.
we work through all of that. But we have a team, we have family. Like you said, we're coming from similar extended family orientation. I
Hmm.
think why we grow together as a community, because we understand that upbringing, the importance of family, friends, a village that can
Hmm.
help take care of each other.
It's the
That's
art of love. Yeah, exactly. And then the love of art. So this is why for me they're the same. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, and how cool that we have such dope husbands that do challenge our brains and stimulate us and hold us accountable, but also support us through our journeys as artists. And yeah, I'm so grateful for my best friend, and your husband is super dope too and very talented. So it's so cool to see two people creatively like, pursue and support each other through that journey, that process. So awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So you guys, season two, you already know we have a new segment that is one of my favorites for 2024.
The library is open! Because reading is what? Fundamental! There you have it, darling.
And this is called The Library is Open. It's not to share shade, it is to share light and spotlight our guest artists. And our guest artist, this is your opportunity to share with us what is your favorite book that you're currently reading, or a favorite book from the past, and what are your top three reasons why?
so the book I read, a lot of the books that I've read from David Ritz, who is a writer, he also wrote music too. It's called Divided Soul, is the book I read that I enjoyed reading. It was about Marvin Gaye's life, called Divided Soul. And the way he wrote it was very melodic. Like the way his cadence to his book just felt very musical to me. So that's why I love reading his books. He has a lot of biographies out with other artists. The current book I'm reading is with about Aretha Franklin. It's a controversial book where I don't think she felt very comfortable that he wrote this, uh, but it had uh, a lot of beautiful words that described the environment that she was in. It's called Respect, and like her huge, it's a huge song for her. I did a lot of research
Hmm.
too about women who also were involved in writing, because there were not a lot of women that wrote music, played
Yeah.
music on that time.
Or
So
receive the appropriate credit for it.
exactly. So it's
I
really
love
interesting.
that. Very cool.
Yeah, those are my favorite reasons why I enjoy reading his books.
David Ritz, you heard it here, you guys. Divided Soul about Marvin Gaye's life, as well as Respect about, which is what Sherry's currently reading about Aretha Franklin's life. A little controversial, but it's still, I like how you described his style of narrative with almost like poetry and melodically receiving it as like a song, essentially. It's really cool to hear that and see that. In my current book that, because I like to share one as well, is this one right here is called The Andy Warhol Diaries, edited by Pat Hackett. Um, it's currently a show on Netflix, but I wanted to read it too and just kind of have all the origins to go back in it. So I'm diving deep into that, and I'm still reading it. It's obviously you can see it's huge,
It
and I always
really
got like like two or three going on at the same time. So the other one that I'm reading is by Mary Gabriel. It's called A Rebel Life. It's Madonna's story, and so that's another ongoing, But yeah, I love being inspired by artists, and artists like Andy and Madonna were always inspired by history as well, and other forms of cinema and where we were at as a society, but also pushing boundaries and making statements, right? So I love that. We talked about that. Very cool. All right, let's talk about your top most proud moments that you want to look back and reflect and say, I did that. I was a part of that, and you left your legacy. Give us your top three highlight moments.
top three. Starting this business, the Artform Studio.
Period. Mm-hmm.
That to
Preach.
me is the biggest
It's
baby,
your
one of the
baby. Yeah.
my first child, Tamiko, having
Yeah.
her and my daughters having those two are going to be my legacy
Yeah.
moving in life.
They're
They're
stunning.
I love them, and then nourishing their artistry as well as their, I call them
Mm-hmm.
special moments instead of moments of challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think going through certain challenges that I had been faced with, I can help my children face them as well because I have actually experienced it myself.
Yeah.
So they're more receptive to understanding and listening to me as their mom,
They
and I
respect it too.
yes,
Yeah, I
so
see it. It's very evident when you're around them.
very special. And then it's just being an artist, being a hairstylist, not just being a hairstylist, but confident, right? When you're a makeup artist or hairstylist, people can
Mm-hmm.
find it, and
Mm-hmm.
that's very special that not a lot of people can really tone into or tune into.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that it feel like it's a gift, you
Creative
know.
confidence. Yes, having confidence in your creativity. Yeah, that is a thing. I don't even know where I would be if I didn't have that. And it's like it's part of your being and your essence and just who you are as like a human, you know? Yeah, I'm so grateful for that. I love it. Very cool. Awesome. All right. Well, you guys, we have another segment coming up. It is called Wrapping Up Mindful Artist Rapid Cues. I'm going to ask you three rapid questions, Sherry Young, wherever you are intuitively. Try not to think about it too hard. Just think about what first comes to your heart and head. Who is your hero and why?
My mama,
Yeah,
she
what's
is
her name?
hero. Her name is Felicitas Estelilio.
Felicitas. Sh-
Felicitas.
Shout out to Felicitas. Why is she your hero?
She does
Mhm.
everything unconditionally. She just doesn't. Yes, she can complain here and there, but
I mean,
she's
that's what mama do sometimes.
but just wow, she just does it, and she does it with like grace. She just does everything she can handle, and sometimes I don't think she can handle it, but she's just doing it. So yeah, she is my
Yeah.
hero.
Felicitas. Love that. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for creating Sherry Young. All right, Sherry, wrapping up my four artist rapid cues. Question number two for you. What is your favorite music album of all time and why?
Oh,
I know. I
woo.
know. Speaking of, like, you literally are a DJ. And
Yeah,
so
it's
this is
a
that one album that okay, I'm gonna give you two because you're a DJ and you have other forms of artistry. But you're on a deserted island. You have one disc man, one headphone, and one album. What is that album?
it would be Mary J. Blige's What's the
Mm,
411. It I always listened to it growing up in the 90s. So it was they sampled a lot of music, soul music in that record. So I feel like if that's one record I can take on a deserted island, I would take that one because it had elements of soul music of the past that was sampled into this music. So if there's just one, I think it would just be that one.
what's it called again?
It's called What's the 411 by
Oh,
Mary.
yes, yes, yes. Duh. Yeah, got it. Yeah, that one's a good one. I knew you were gonna pick something cool.
Fun.
Good job. All right, very cool. Wrapping up my Fortis rapid cues. Question number three for Sherry Young. What is your favorite quote of all time?
Oh, you know what? Practice makes progress.
Mm,
Because
period.
when, raising my kids, they're like, oh, mommy, it's not perfect. I said, you know what? Every time you do it, it gets better and better and better each time. Sometimes we just hurt ourselves because like, oh my God, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. But it's progress. Like the more and more you practice something, the better and better it gets.
Love that. And having grace for yourself through that process and looking back at the previous moment, it is progress. So, and not seeking for perfection, I think is important too. Love that. Do you know who said that? It's just like a random quote. Practice makes
You know,
progress.
I think I just switched it up.
Yeah,
Practice
it's
progress.
Sherry Young's.
I
Well,
think
how
it's
about
my
that?
fault. No, I'm not sure yet. I was like, did I read this somewhere? I don't know. But
All
it's
good.
always
Practice
say.
makes progress. It makes so much sense. I love it. Simple and 3 words. Very cool. Thank you so much. You're a delight. This was amazing. I love talking to you, and we can do it forever. But where can we follow you? Where can we support you and do all the things to book with you?
Yes, so you can follow me on my IG, Sherry Young. That's with an E at the end on IG. You can follow us at the Artform Studio. It's on the underscore artform underscore studio on IG. Those two platforms have been something that we've just been just currently posting stuff that I go out to DJ to. And then you can also book me for any cuts, color, makeup, hair care, education. That's where I've been mostly.
Love it. And then you said you also have a podcast? Is it's the Artform Radio?
It's called the Artforms of Yesterday, but you can find it on the Artform Studios Mixcloud.
Got it. Okay. I'm gonna put all that in the description and I'll get links from you so it appropriates to the or it navigates people to the appropriate place. Thank you
Cool.
so much. You guys, we have Sherry Young here. Make sure that you follow her, support her, and book if you are in the Highland Park area, California. You guys, this was your one-stop shop place for all things balancing creativity, spirituality, while being an entrepreneur. My name is Andrew Velasquez. That song you're about to hear is called Mi Corazón, written by myself, produced by Aaron McClendon. You can download Mi Corazón wherever you stream your favorite music. Make sure that you share this episode with somebody that you love. And if you're an entrepreneur that is also creative and wants to be a guest, you can email me at mindfulartistpodcast@gmail.com. Until the next time, you guys, make an impact in somebody's life. Much love and light to you all. Thank you so much, Sherry Young. Thank you,
Thank you. I
everybody.
love you. Thank you
I
so
love
much.
you. Mwah. Bye,
Bye.
guys.